Oh my gosh. Hello, everyone. Hello.
Hello, everybody.
How we doing today, guys? I hope we are
Great.
doing well. John's asking, Jordan Adam, who do you think's going to win, the Usos or the Bloodline this weekend? Also, Dom Dom or Cody?
Yes.
Yep. You know what wins every time in WWE? Because I'm assuming that's what we're talking about. The chair.
The ch-
The chair always wins. Go chair.
There shouldn't be any chair. I guess there could be some chairs. Cody over Dom, Bloodline over Uso. Agreed. Vincent is in here. Hey man, how's it going? Good to have you here. If you haven't, guys, make sure you hit the subscribe button. That helps us out a ton. And Instagram, next_step_pod. Please do that as well. That is super helpful.
One click.
One click. Jordan, are you able to share the Instagram in the chat? Are you able to do that? I don't even know.
Good question. Let me try.
Just investigate that while we're getting ready here. We should be able to, actually. I might be able to really quickly. I hope we're doing well, guys. We are live for a special Wednesday episode of the pod. Blame Jordan. He is.
All right.
He is. I got her here, Jordan. By the way. He is going to Summerfest, which is a massive concert situation thing up here in Wisconsin.
Yep.
And he is gonna go see who?
A bunch of people. A bunch of people.
A bunch of people. All right.
You gonna see Earth, Wind, and Fire? I know they're there.
No, they're not playing. They're not playing tomorrow. If they were, I would see them.
Dude, they're an OG band, man. I love them.
I posted it. I posted it, and it's not going through, so I'm not sure why. I don't know. All right. Well, we'll keep looking into that. You guys ready? Oh, it's too many characters. Fancy.
Yeah, I'm ready. Humble plug. Order Tiger stuff. I'm gonna post it to our Facebook page soon.
Yeah. Anyways, it is next_step_pod. I should get the little. There's like a QR code you can have on here. I should just put it on the page with us. If I was smart, I would have done that.
There's always next week, you know.
But I'm not, so here we are. Yeah, you guys ready?
Ready to rock.
Okay,
Let's do it.
let's hit it. Welcome back to a Wednesday edition of the Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast. My name is Jake, and I am joined by my friend Jordan. Jordan, how you doing?
Never been better.
Never
Feeling
been
great.
better.
Yep. Ready to go. We finally are getting into drafts.
Yes.
Today's the day.
Exciting.
Yes, it is a good day. It is a good day. My kid will not go to sleep, and it is the most annoying thing in the world right now. So I apologize if I randomly am going and coming back and going and coming back and going and coming back.
It's all right. We'll hold down the fort, Jake. We got you.
Can you? Can you hold down the fort?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure
we
can.
will.
And Adam is
And-
also here.
Oh, yeah.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. Hey, good to be here. I
Hey
guess.
boys, hey boys, I need to interrupt. I'm gonna need you to hold the fort for like 2 minutes here.
Yeah, we got
Keep
it. I
it
can
going,
talk
all
about Tigers football. Here we go. So, happy to be here. We're gonna have the best locker room in our conference in about a year or two, man. We've been doing some renovations. It's looking sick. Gonna post a video when it's all done, but good things are coming to Tiger football, baby. We're gonna not only make playoffs this year, but we're gonna change the culture big time. So,
Can make some noise. I love it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love it.
yeah, we're not
Yeah, we
the
gotta-
kitty cats anymore. We're gonna be legit Tigers now.
The full Tigers. Oh, I love it. Yeah, it sounds like it's just we're finally getting into like July is just around the corner. That's
Oh.
drafts. Then August comes, Adam, and it all starts for you in August. So
Oh man, I know.
well,
and
it's football, and then football is here.
Yep,
We're so
and
close.
I don't feel in my elements quite like when I'm on the practice field or the game field, and our scrimmage is the second week of August, and then we have a game week the third week. So I mean, it's all gonna come really quick here, and I couldn't be more excited.
Wow. All right. Well, we'll stay tuned here on the
You
podcast
bet.
to
You bet.
see how things are going throughout the season. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right. Good stuff. We're getting Jake back, which means it's time for the game here soon.
Oh my
Yes,
goodness
the game, and I'm
gracious.
excited.
Were you guys able to hold that down for a minute?
Oh
Yeah, of course. We're ready for your game now.
What'd you
Jake.
guys talk
Come
about?
on.
Tiger football.
Tigers football.
Tiger football, love it. Yes, let's go to the game. So Adam requested again that we play. What were we gonna play? We were playing. Oh, pressed the wrong button. Sorry. We are gonna play 1 or 0. So I have some I have some funny, interesting stories from around the world, and I'm gonna ask you 1 meaning yes, 0 meaning no. There is no gray area. Are you guys ready?
Born ready. Let's do it.
All right, let me pull it up here. All right. A Wyoming couple spent 52 hours while waiting outside of their local movie theater to see Transformers: Rise of the Beast or something. They got into the theater and they were the only ones there. 1 or 0, 30 minutes is too early to be to the theater.
0.
Explain yourself.
So I'm a big movie guy. I love getting in the movie, get my popcorn, a large bucket, buttered popcorn, get a drink, go see the previews. I love getting there just so I can play those little trivia games they got on the screen.
Well, yeah, where you pull up the thing.
You
I know.
What actor played in this movie? It was his first role. I love everything about the movie theater. I get there probably 35 to 40 minutes early sometimes.
Yeah, that's going to be a big old 1 for me. You could get there 30 minutes late and the movie would not have even started. The previews kill me. 30 minutes early is like an hour early, as far as I'm concerned.
Jordan hates going to movies with me because I am hard one here.
No, 0.
Oh, 0.
It's not too early. It's not too early.
My thing is that I have my anxiety bothers me. I need to get there to make sure my seats are fine. Just gonna do this. Here, hold on a sec, guys.
And now they're all the nice luxury seats,
Yeah.
You guys are just wrong about that. Unless we're going and hanging out before, or getting a drink or doing something before, whatever, then I'm about it. But just to get there, to get my popcorn and go sit in my seat for 30 minutes before the movie, for then 30 minutes before the movie even starts because of previews.
Oh yeah.
No,
I'm
not for me.
all about it. You
can go look at the preview posters around the movie theater if it's a nice one,
Cool. Cool.
Cool.
All right, next.
All right,
next.
Next up. All right. Shohei Ohtani yesterday against the White Sox hit 2 home runs and struck out 10 batters. 1 or 0, Ohtani today is the best athlete in the world.
Ooh.
Today, June 28th.
He's up there, right? I mean, a strong case could be made. I have to say 0 because it is a non-contact sport. But what he's been able to do is unbelievable. And I think, so it's a 0 for me. But it's really close. I could have gone either way on this one.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah, I don't have another person that I would put ahead of him. That's the thing. It feels like 0 because that's huge. The best athlete in the world is dramatic. But I kind of feel like he's in the conversation.
He is having.
he's playing out of his mind.
If these numbers sustain, he'll have the best season a baseball player has ever had.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear he cracked a fingernail, so he had to leave the game pitching, comes in the next at bat, hits a dinger. His second home run of the game. I'm like, oh my God. So it's really cool.
So, Adam, you said 0, right? Did you both say 0?
Yes.
Okay, then who is it?
That's what I was saying. I don't know who it is,
right?
But it just feels like in the whole world, that seems crazy.
A better question would be 1 or 0. 1 or 0. A baseball player can be the best athlete in the world.
And maybe that's my hang up.
Yeah. They do play a lot of games.
182, man. Imagine playing 182 and then pitching.
Well, and rarely they play all of them, but still, an argument could be made for Pat Mahomes. Yeah. I mean, it's just different with sports. It's really hard to judge. I feel like you have to do it within sports.
Yeah,
He's definitely the best player in baseball right now.
Because
Yes.
then you could say LeBron, is he the best athlete? You know what I mean? Like, it would definitely be easier just to do by sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's hit the last one. By the way, I was able to find it. So on the screen right now, there's a QR code or just our name, so you can take a picture of that if you're on a computer, and it'll take you wherever you needs to go, or you can just see the name there and follow us there. That would be greatly appreciated. Let me pull up the last article. My beautiful wife looked these up for me today because I was super busy at work. So,
Awesome.
shout out to Caitlin. What a gal. She also made the really nice thumbnail you guys are going to see when this episode goes live. All right. I'm just going to read the headline. Aggressive cow makes repeated visit to Pennsylvania college campus. A cow keeps showing up for the 5th time to Kutztown University, and police have issued a warning saying for students to be aware of the aggressive cow. So that is probably one of the most Midwestern things you might ever hear.
Yep.
1 or 0, beef is the best meat in the world.
0.
0.
Oh,
It's chicken.
oh, it is definitely not chicken. But go ahead,
You
Jordan.
can make anything out of chicken. my
I
guy.
was going to say chicken. I
No.
agree.
Oh my
Yep.
God. I am a 1. There's nothing better than a good steak. Not a single meat in the world is better than a good steak.
What about a good
Okay.
good pork sandwich?
Yeah, they're great. Not better than a steak.
Yeah,
And then,
that's going to be a no for me.
oh my gosh. And then the chicken, hot take. The chicken breast is the worst.
It's dry.
And no one is like, God, I hope there's a good chicken breast today.
All right. All right, Jake.
Chicken thighs, though. Chicken thighs are good.
Oh, a
Yeah.
good chicken thigh, especially on the grill. I admit it.
Yeah.
And wings, but the thing is wings, I would put that right up there.
Yeah.
Right? But nothing better than a good steak. Thanks for really giving me much on that one, guys. Not really there.
I'm just saying, I'm just
I do
saying.
have a bonus
It's
one.
not.
I do have a bonus one if you're curious.
Yeah,
Sure.
hit us with it. Come on. Speed
Okay.
round.
I don't have the exact numbers. I have the rough numbers. According to a new study, your pillowcase is 17 times more dirty, meaning more germs, than your toilet.
I hate that.
Okay?
Horrible study.
1 or 0. Your pillowcase is grosser than your toilet.
I hope
Oh,
0.
yeah. I watch it every cycle, so my pillowcase. So I.
Oh, you
Yeah.
do? Good for you. I'll
It
be
gets
honest.
washed.
It gets washed.
consistently.
Yeah.
I can see it though because there's so much grime on your face. Like a lot of us don't shower before bed. Like, and then there's mites and like dust that comes from your like skin.
This is horrible. I regret saying we want another one.
Yeah.
I regret that. Yeah. It's just terrible.
Joey in the chat says, Joey says, oh boy, my computer just told me when it wants to restart. So the whole 1 moment, guys. Let me just push that a little bit. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, guys.
Mine randomly restarts on its own. It's like a district policy because I'm using a district computer. So if that would happen, I'm just done for the episode that day.
Oh my
Hope it
gosh.
doesn't happen.
Yeah. Sorry. Hold on. All right. We should be
Okay.
good. All
Jordan,
right.
how much do you wash your pillowcase?
Every time I watch it,
The better question is
Consistently.
How about this one, guys? 1 or 0. Do you eat or eating is okay in your bed?
0.
0. No.
0.
I'm a 1. Give me a bowl of ice cream any day.
No,
Unless
can't
it's
do it.
like breakfast. Never mind.
What?
Breakfast in bed. I don't know.
Yeah, you get it. This guy
Yeah.
gets it.
Occasionally.
All right. Yeah, Joey says his favorite food is tuna. Best meat is tuna. That's
wow.
that's a bold move, I'll say.
I'm allergic, so I can't eat tuna.
So
This is not Adam's favorite.
it's not Adam's favorite.
No, I wouldn't put it in my top 5.
All right, I'm ready,
Yeah.
Jake.
Jordan,
Jordan
hit
with the
me-
news.
Jordan, hit us with the news.
All right, we got some.
Da-na-na-na-na-na.
Thank you. Yep. I think the biggest thing, and what we'll probably spend the most time talking about before I rip through a couple of just odds and ends things here, more gambling suspensions incoming. So we know for sure Isaiah Rodgers on Indianapolis is expected to get a season-long ban.
Yeah.
The recent release was with more to come, like more players to come. So they reiterated their gambling policy, the NFL did. They kind of pushed that out to all of the teams. They're having representatives go to each team to explain the gambling policy, and all rookies now are required to take a class, like a seminar
I didn't
about
see that
gambling.
part.
And there's 6 key rules about this gambling policy, so I'll run through these and we'll discuss. You cannot bet on the NFL. Can't do it. Don't bet on the NFL.
Yep.
Don't gamble while you're at your team facility, while you're traveling for road games, or at a team hotel. So basically, if you're on the road, you can't do it. If you're at the team facility, you can't do it. Don't have someone bet for you, so on your behalf. You can't give someone money and they place the bet. You cannot share your team's inside information to help sway any information around betting. So
I feel like that's the
is
big
pretty.
one.
That's pretty wide reaching,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yes.
I think that one's going to be pretty major there. You can't enter a sports book at all during the NFL season. So while season's in session, you can't go. And then you cannot play daily fantasy football. It's the 6th rule of the gambling policy. So
Great. Love
they
it.
are. Jake says he loves it.
I love
Adam.
it.
Again, I've got a lot of mixed feelings about punishments fitting the crime, right? In the NFL, I get there's rules, and Jake has a good point there, right? These are pretty cut and dry. You break a rule, you get caught, you have to pay the punishment. But again, I stand by it. We've had guys hit women, like cold clock them in the face, and they get to play sooner than these people gambling. I will never understand that, and I never will agree that that's right.
You don't have to agree with it, but
why is
it
that the
makes
policy?
perfect sense.
Why is that the policy where
all
you
about the money.
gamble?
It is
It
all
is.
about the money. That's why, because
And quite frankly, it's BS.
okay, well, yeah, but I mean, that's what you say. You don't understand it. I mean, that is it. It's because
morally, I cannot.
fine. It's the thing is if you get an NFL player and he, starts hitting somebody, and they'll suspend him, and and it doesn't hurt their bottom dollar at all. The moment if gambling becomes such a problem that fans begin to think that it's fixed, or like you could compare it to WWE way back in the day, right? People, gambling. I bet you there was under the table gambling cash sort of thing when it was WWF, and they thought it was real, and right. And then the moment it became scripted, or like people realized it wasn't fully real, then the integrity, like that idea, just goes out the window. So if that happens in football, they will lose so much money.
People already think there's a script in the NFL. People already think it's fixed. Since my stepdad was complaining about this when I was growing up, like in the early thousands. He was like, "It's fixed.
It's not
the
fixed."
refs will get off." And that's the thing though. But the perception, right? So I get your point.
Yeah.
But here's the underlying truth. Guys will find a way around these rules, like anything else. So it's still going to happen if they treat it as an epidemic. I envision a world where the NFL's right now they're in bed with these gambling companies, because you turn on a game, there's 4 commercials almost every intermission for DraftKings, for Caesar Sportsbook, all these things. So if the NFL's in bed with these companies, there's that double standard again. That again, morally, I can't understand.
Yep.
Now it's different if a player's betting on his team to lose, right? That's bad. That's shady. But again, I've just got such mixed feelings about it.
Yeah, I think I feel better about it after I saw the rules. To know, and then again, I think it's been harsh penalties, but I think that will solve the problem. I think it's don't bet on the NFL, don't do it while you're traveling, basically don't do it during the season, no daily fantasy, right? They have all these rules outlined, and if you do it, it's a year.
Yeah.
Again, and we can agree, argue about if the punishment if it's a crime, but if you're getting a year for that, I hope that's a deterrent for players, because I'm annoyed by it.
Yeah.
I hate that guys keep getting suspended
I mean, here
for a whole year. Because
it's just like any other job, right? You have your job, you go to work, they tell you you can't have your phone, you get caught with your phone, whether or not you think you should have it or not, there's a penalty, right? It's the same thing. These people are at work. you know, it just so happens that they don't leave work during those 6 months or whatever it is. You are always representing them. So, super interesting.
Yeah.
Hopefully no big names get hit. That's the thing.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep you all posted. I'm sure we'll probably talk about this for the next couple of weeks
Can't wait to make a
these
bet.
Penalties keep rolling out. Can't wait to make a bet. All right, Jake. All right. Some other news from the NFL. Hot off the press this afternoon, Devontae Parker signed a 3-year, $33 million deal with the Patriots. What's up with that? What happened to DeAndre Hopkins?
He must be such a nice guy.
How does he keep getting money like this?
Good for him. I mean,
Yeah.
get your money, but they must really value him, or it says that they don't think they're going to get Hopkins. So
I think it's the latter, to be honest.
so you.
I think it's that they feel like they're out on him. Like if DeAndre Hopkins was going to sign with the Patriots, he would have already done it.
Mm-hmm.
Like what's he waiting for? He's waiting for another team to make him an offer.
For sure.
So
He doesn't want to be on the Patriots. Yeah.
so that means he wants to be on. And here's what I think. Bold prediction. It's not bold, but here's what I think is going to happen. He's waiting. He's floating the Patriots and the Titans. And right now, Chris Jones on the Chiefs has a stupid cap number. They're talking about restructuring it, giving him an extension. And as soon as that happens, money opens this year, and I think he goes to the Chiefs.
I think he takes a pay cut and goes to the Chiefs. He's trying to win.
Yep.
And as he should. Like he's got his money. He needs a ring. If he hasn't already signed with the Patriots, it's never happening.
Mhm.
So I think they realize that they signed Devontae Parker.
Okay.
Josh Jacobs, not signed his deal yet. He has reports are saying he could potentially miss all of training camp and week 1 this season, maybe more, because he doesn't have a deal. So that was disappointing because he got franchise tagged, but he was awesome last year. I mean, he was a league winner last year, and now he's potentially going to sit out week 1.
Yeah, he's got a second-round ADP right now. I think now is the time when we're hitting July here where we can start getting a little nervous, right? It's just different, right? It's different than the Saquon thing because that is just like everyone figures it will just get done, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what you're supposed to hear right now, right? That's what you're supposed to hear in July before training camp. And then with Jacobs, you're hearing right now he might be missing games. Like it must be not good going on in Las Vegas right now. So that would be not good.
Yeah, worst team in the division.
Yes.
Yep. 2 other pieces of news.
Yep.
Leonard Fournette involved in an incident with his car. It caught on
Lenny.
fire. He's fine. He's blessed. That's what he came out saying, which is good.
Blessed.
But it brings up just Leonard Fournette, the running back market worth talking about. It seems like we're just Kareem Hunt still not signed. Dalvin Cook says he's waiting. Leonard Fournette still doesn't have a home. Like this is
Big names that are waiting.
yeah, pretty dry from a running back market.
Do you
So
think
we'll keep
they're
an eye on that.
waiting or they don't have offers?
I feel like they don't have offers. That would be or the offers are really low. I'm sure people are like lowballing them.
Mm-hmm.
Which
So
one
we'll
would you
see.
want? You want a backup running back? Who's the one you're grabbing? Between Hunt, not Cooks because he's good and everyone would want him, but Hunt, Fournette, Zeke.
Fournette.
I would say Kareem Hunt.
I was gonna say
Pass
Zeke.
catching. Interesting. All
Wow.
right.
Yeah, I was gonna go Zeke because you're getting a goal line guy. Like,
Well, I guess it depends who your running back
Well,
is
yeah.
on your team.
Yeah.
You know, like I like the pass catching upside.
Right.
Anyway, speaking of running backs, Ken Walker. Reports out of Seattle camp say that Ken Walker they're expecting 17 touches a game out of Ken Walker. So we were originally nervous about the double running back there, but 17 touches, that's
It's a lot.
that ain't so bad.
that'd be great. I mean, the rookie they took in the second round would be. We were nervous about that. So.
I wasn't.
Oh, of course. All right.
Yeah, he's been steadfast.
All right. Let's
for,
keep it going. Let's keep it going.
Walker. That's it. All right, Jake. That's the news.
You forgot the fact that Miami apparently has offered Dalvin Cook a contract. So
Wow.
Oh, do we know any details about what
Nope.
the contract is?
I just saw the tweet.
Cool. Oh, okay.
It's just different because you don't typically get they've offered something and then no one signed it, right? So
So maybe that feeds into offers are flying out there, and these guys are like, won't do it. Got to see the number go up.
there is some rumbling, tumbling, bumbling rumors of Cook going to the Jets, which would be really interesting.
Yeah, I did hear that. Like
Yeah.
someone was like, "Oh, there's room for everyone on the Jets," and now
Is there room for me on the Jets?
I guess there's room for everyone as long as you're a former Packer. I think you can find your way on the Jets.
Joey live on YouTube right now in the chat, youtube.com/Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast. You should be here. Typically we're here Thursdays, but today's Wednesday. You'd know that if you were following the Facebook page at the Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast. Nailed that. Joey says 17 touches isn't enough for me to draft Walker at his current ADP. So his ADP is off the top of my head. I'm staring at Jordan so he can look, but I want to say late second, right? Early third, somewhere in there. 17 touches, that's a good amount of touches.
That's good value. I mean,
early second. He's
Oh,
going.
okay. I mean, I get that.
I still feel like it's all right though, because you get 17 touches, you can get 2 opportunities to score a touchdown some way somehow. I mean,
That's true. That's true.
That would be his average for the same average he had last season.
Okay.
To put that in perspective.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. I mean, that's good information to know, right? If he can get that, then that's fine. But if he's hitting 13, 14, that it's it sounds like, oh, that's only 3 touches. It matters.
Yes.
So, Vincent's not a believer. Says Walker's going to lose a lot of touches. So, all right, I'm going to move some stuff around. Hey guys, if you haven't followed the Instagram, why don't you do it now while Jake hits some buttons? So we have a June league, we have a July league, and August league. We did a slow draft this time, so we're going to break down the June league. If you want to be part of the July league, we have 2 spots left, and you can be a part of that if you follow our Facebook page. It's right there. So, and then we have 1 spot left in the August league, and then a money league as well. So, might be a little hard to see on the YouTube side of it. I mean, Jordan, I'm sure you can pull it up. I don't have the YouTube up right now, but we'll talk through it. This is as big as I can make the board without losing our faces. I guess I could. Here, hold on. I could do. Here, we can do this. I'm just going to move things around. People listening on the podcast, where it's a live show, so excuse me.
I cannot see my face on the live stream.
Why?
On the YouTube anyway.
Why? What's it look like?
It's a moon. It's a moon.
Well, it's a moon. What do you mean it's
Yeah,
a moon?
I still got him.
You got me
Yeah,
on YouTube?
sure do.
Weird.
All right, never mind.
Well, if you can't see Adam, just know he's as beautiful as always.
Beautiful as the moon.
All right, so I made it a little bigger, so hopefully that's easier to see. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the first 2 rounds. There were trades in this, so we'll talk about those as they happen as well. And then after that, we'll kind of point out just some things we saw, right? Some things that were a little different, different strategies, that sort of thing. Joey says he can see everyone, Adam, so maybe it's just on your end. So, all right. So we had 10 is a 1 quarterback league, 10 teams. There were trades, like I said, and it was a half-point PPR, I want to say. I don't have the thing in front of me. We did it a while ago. So, but first pick, we went Austin Eckler, which was a shock of a pick, mainly because we had 8-hour-long picks, and the guy didn't make the pick. But
It was an auto draft.
But he set up his board so it auto-draft, which was kind of weird.
Oh.
So he wanted Eckler. Let me quickly say that Eckler at the 1 spot guy and the 3 spot guy didn't make their first picks, and then we replaced them. So just know that, right? So these first 2 picks were not made by the people who currently have them. So and so quickly, thank you, Kyle, and thank you, Barely Manageable, for coming in and taking these first picks, especially because Eckler went 1. What do you guys think of that?
I don't like it. I thought there was a consensus number 1 pick, and that's Christian McCaffrey. I just feel like Eckler could really fit that bill, though. I mean, he could have an amazing season, but with all the disgruntled talk and him maybe getting cut or traded, I don't like it because he's not happy right now as a Charger. So is he going to play as good as he did last year? I don't know.
To me, it feels a little bit. I want to bite my tongue because I agree the consensus number one is Christian McCaffrey.
I don't.
But I ate my words last year when I said, "Oh, it's Jonathan Taylor. Why would you take anyone else?" And then people took Christian McCaffrey, and I was like, "Oh, how could you do that?"
Right.
I want to be like understanding a little bit that when we're talking about those top running backs, it's really a toss-up between them. And Jake, I should clarify that if you're taking a running back at number one, I would think Christian McCaffrey is the guy to take.
Yes.
Not that he's necessarily the consensus overall number one when you're throwing in other position.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't want to spend too much time on this one, mainly because it was the auto pick, right? So, but he did have it set like that. So,
okay.
I mean, yeah, it was up to him, I guess. Just looking, it was a half-point PPR, so just wanted to point that out.
Great.
Pick 2, Whippy went with Christian McCaffrey. I think that's the running back we would take.
Great.
Yeah, I just think that's the pick. He's just such, and we saw him in half a season with San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
Cannot wait to see a full season.
Whippy was probably loving that he fell into his lap.
Oh, absolutely. He made that pick real fast. This is running back 1 that should go off our boards. In my opinion, he just offers. We've seen it. We've seen the 1,000-yard rushing and 1,000-yard receiving. There's no reason he couldn't do it again.
Right.
There's no reason, and if he does, you have him on your team. You have a really good chance of winning.
Yep.
I'm just gonna keep going. Pick 3 went Justin Jefferson. So you guys kept saying that McCaffrey is the consensus number 1. I don't think he is, in my opinion. I really like Justin Jefferson at the 1, especially in half point or full point. If it's a full point PPR, I'm very much considering Jefferson. But the thing is, the problem is that you got McCaffrey, who's also going to make catches, right? So he offers that. I think Jefferson offers less of a risk of injury versus McCaffrey. So I have no problem if you want to go Jefferson.
Yeah, he for sure does. I mean, he's always been healthy since he's been in the league, and he's just electric. He'll get a lot of touches. Kirk Cousins loves himself some Justin Jefferson. So good value.
Yeah, it's great value.
He could have 30 less catches and 250 less yards, and I would still be fine with him as the number 1 overall pick compared to his season last year. Yeah. So
then we get our second receiver going off the board. We got Jamar Chase. I like it. He's a top 5 pick in my opinion. I was, it was kind of interesting to see where these running backs were going to start going, right? Were they going to go, or were we going to have a what?
Running backs or wide receivers?
Well, I didn't know if there'd be a run on receivers or running backs, and it turns out to be receivers because Jamar Chase goes to Panizo in the pick 4, and then in pick 5, I took Cooper Kupp. So I went trying to get one of the last elite guys right there, the top 3. Do you have anything to say on Jamar Chase before I talk about Cooper?
He's probably the guy, and I said it a few episodes ago, that can challenge Justin Jefferson in my mind to be just as good as him, be the top receiver in the league. So I really like Jamar Chase. I would consider taking Chase over Jefferson for sure, but they're both really good. So again, that's a good pick there.
Yeah,
agreed.
And then I went Cooper Kupp. In fairness, I just love him personally. Yep. I think you guys know that. And we saw the year before the injury, that he was a monster. And he was wide receiver 1. He won leagues. And last year, he kept it going. I mean, he finished as wide receiver, 22 or 32 or something like that. And only played 9 games. I'm expecting a bounce back year from him, especially because I don't think Matthew Stafford's done. I don't. Reports coming out of there is that he's pretty healthy, and if that's the case, give me Cooper Kupp. I think any of these 3 could finish as wide receiver 1.
Yep. I threw some shade at Kupp a few episodes ago, but again, my big thing is I don't think Stafford can stay healthy at this point in his career. That elbow thing's legit. They might say he's looking pretty healthy, They didn't say he's looking 100% healthy. They
Yeah.
said he's pretty healthy. So I have my concerns about
Yeah,
Stafford more than I have concerns about Cup.
Absolutely.
There's just nobody else on that team.
That's my thing.
Anyone doing anything. So that's why I like Cup by Cup.
Then we have our first, finally kind of seeing what's happening with the tight ends. Travis Kelce goes to pick 6. We have always preached to wait on your tight ends.
Unless it's Travis Kelce.
Unless
You
it's
can do whatever
Travis
you want
Kelce.
with Travis Kelce.
Do you feel fine taking him at pick 6? Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's a monster. I mean, he will shut his jabroni haters up this year again. He's just
Jabroni.
phenomenal. He's one of the best personalities in the league. That has nothing to do with the fantasy side, but he's a wide receiver 1 in tight end clothing. I mean, he's gonna be elite again. I don't think it's too early because, like Jordan said, unless it's Travis Kelce, don't reach on any tight ends. But you can reach on Kelce and it's fine. You know.
Yeah, I still think we get back to like our opinions
Hey,
about
someone
taking
take their
tight ends
phone
early.
off the desk.
Like,
One-
take our tight ends early. But yeah, I don't feel like Travis Kelce. Like, I got no problem with Travis Kelce going at 6.
Makes me nervous. That's my thought. Because Father Time is undefeated. And it's going to happen. Unless he just up and retires. It's going to happen that he will
You
take a
said the
step back.
same thing last year, though.
I did, and I was wrong. I was 100% wrong. But it's just, for me, it's a pretty big risk to be taking with 1-6.
You could say the same thing about Cooper Kupp or Christian McCaffrey or, any of these guys that you had no problem taking earlier.
Okay, fine. Screw you guys. It's just fine. You take them all you want. I'm just saying 1-6 is a little high because I'd rather have the next 2 guys that went Stephon Diggs, Tyreek Hill. Again,
Would you rather have Tyreek
The
Hill?
drama of those two is not worth it to me.
the drama,
You know what
the
Tyreek is.
drama of Buffalo is not real. I don't believe it is.
Okay.
It's
don't.
real because a bunch of news sources have been saying it's real. So
Yeah.
They've just said he's disgruntled. What does that mean? Oh, no.
That
And hold
means-
on. No. He was upset. There was a news. Everyone talked about it for a day and a half, and hey, you haven't heard a thing since.
I'll bet you a sub that we see it again this season.
What does that mean?
There's going to be reports that he's unhappy about something.
Of course there'll
In
be
the
reports,
Billboard
because it's
organization.
going to be like that forever now.
But we're going to hear more. I mean, we haven't heard anything from it since, but we're going to hear more. And he's going to maybe struggle because of it.
He's still worth the first round pick.
Yep.
It's not nothing. It's not nothing.
I
Same
think
with
it's nothing.
Tyreek Hill. It's not nothing. It's worth, if you're drafting in June, it's worth considering. And Travis Kelce, I have no concerns that Travis Kelce has a place on that team.
Where I struggle, I mean, I'd rather have Adams over both those guys. No drama. Produces every year, similar numbers as those guys. Little older. Oh, well. I'd rather have Adams over both those guys right now.
When we get to that pick about Devontae Adams, Adam, you're definitely wrong about it, and I'll tell you why when we get to it.
All right.
Yeah.
Is it Jimmy G?
All right. You're going to talk about Jimmy G. So then let's get to pick 9. So then we have a trade here. So 9 and 10. Oh, geez. Jordan, can you explain this before I bumble over my words here?
Yes.
Thank
So in the snake draft, it's going to go 9, 10, 10, 9,
Yep.
right? So that's the pick. They just swapped their
Okay.
picks. And then they made some trades later on in the draft to compensate for that.
Here it is.
So it's really going to go team 10, then team 9, team 9, team 10. So those are
Yeah.
the swaps
Uh,
there.
But my question, I got an honest question, though. They both wanted their guys. They traded with each other. What? Why
It's
not?
here. It's later. So what they did is they swapped first and second round picks, and then I don't know gained the third. He gained a third, and then
Oh,
lost a fourth. So he went back to back to back.
okay. That makes more sense
Yep.
now.
So let's just talk about it. So the guy in the 10 spot moves up to 9, takes Jonathan Taylor at pick 109. I think is a really good value. Really good value. And that's just because there was a run on receivers and tight ends, right? So he got wide receiver or running back 3 with pick 9. Love that because he could finish his
Yep.
running back 1 easy. And then, sorry, did you guys want to say anything about that more?
No?
Okay.
No, it's just great.
Pick 10, the other part of that trade goes with Saquon Barkley, and then Nick Chubb. We talked about Nick Chubb 1.5 million times. He's a top 5 running back who's going to finish as the top 5, barring injury, and it's just so consistent, and I love it.
Yep.
So I love that pick.
Wraparound.
Yes.
Great on the wraparound. It's unbelievable.
And then Saquon went obviously right there too. What are your thoughts on Saquon this year?
He's disgruntled. They paid Danny Dimes. They didn't pay Saquon. And will that affect his play? Maybe not. It's an audition year for him. He's so hit or miss, right? He could look like a legend out there, or look like just a dude, like he did all that one season. I mean, it's just depending on if he's healthy or not.
Yeah.
If you want a running back there, he's the right running back to
Correct.
take. Is how I feel about that.
Because it's either him or it's the next guy. So Bijan Robinson went at the 2-2. Do you think that he will go in the first round when it's all said and done?
Yes, I think people will take him in that Jonathan Taylor spot.
Unless there's a run on receivers again.
I just meant his ADP.
Yeah. Then yes, I do.
The hype, man. The hype is real. It is massive. It's like Saquon had the same thing when he was a rookie. I'm trying to think who else had it, but
Adrian Peterson
had it. It's the hype. It's real. I think it's worth every bit of it too. I think he's going to be generationally that good. I will say, and I've been talking in a Discord about it too, that Tyler Algier will have a role on this offense. Do you guys agree or not?
Yes, not in the way you think he does.
No.
But
here's the thing. We've seen them have viable running backs. I think I talked about this last week during the NFC South breakdown, which if you haven't heard that, go back and listen to it. He's a 1,000-yard rookie receiver. They're not just or running back. They're not just going to throw him to the wayside and say, "Never mind, you don't get to touch the football anymore." So I could see 14 rushing attempts, let's say, from Bijan. He would be on the field for receiving opportunities as well. But then I could also see 7 or 8 out of Algier.
Yeah.
I think of like an A.J. Dillon, Aaron Jones situation where just randomly Bijan's just not playing running back and Algier's back there for a series.
You know who's happy with that problem that they have with those 2 running backs?
Who's that?
Desmond Ridder is very happy with those 2 guys being in the backfield.
Yeah. So pretty much I don't know the user, I don't know, traded Jonathan Taylor, his spot pretty much, for Saquon and Chubb. And then later on he was able to get Olave with his 3rd round pick in there. So I think it was definitely a good trade. It really worked out well for him having Taylor drop.
Yes.
So
something interesting.
Go ahead.
I just looked back at the June league breakdown from last year.
Yeah.
And 8 of the top 10 picks, so 8 of the first round picks were running backs.
Interesting. So we got
and this
4.
Year, only 4 of them are.
Yeah. And I think that's going to be a case in a lot of leagues. You're going to see receivers go a lot higher because they're more consistent and they're less of a risk, if we're being honest. You can't predict injury, but like there were lots of games when I felt like the first half of the season last year, you had big name guys just not performing,
right?
Fantasy wise. So I think Jordan, that's good looking back. Good job, man. High fives. That was a good.
I'm here with the stats. I got all the notes from our last year.
We all just go team. So like I said, I'm just gonna repeat that. I don't know. I don't know. It's Joey who's in our chat right now, and he drafted Jonathan Taylor and then traded him. Traded those for those 2 spots and then gained a 3rd round pick. So that's great drafting. So if you have the opportunity to trade in your draft, it never hurts ever if you have a guy fall into your lap just to turn around and say, "Anyone want him?"
Yep.
Right. If you're sitting at the 1-6 or whatever it is, and Jonathan Taylor's staring you in the face, and you could turn around to your friends and go, "Does anyone want him? Make an offer. Otherwise, I'm going to take him." Because there's bound to be at least one person that'll go, "Well, yeah, I want him." Right?
Yep. And
jump up. So if you can get a 3rd, honestly, a 3rd is pretty high value to get for that too. I think he really won that trade. So let's go keep going. Danny, who just took Tyreek Hill, he went A.J. Brown, so he went receiver. I think there is a step down here, right? Like the tiers, for me personally, Jake, the tier is Jefferson, Chase, Cup, Hill, Diggs, for me. I know, Adam, you just said you definitely have Adams in that one. But for me, it's a small step down to the next set of receivers. Would you guys, where are you guys feeling on that?
Agreed.
It's small. It's small. Because then for me, it would be Brown, Adams, Lamb, and then there's another step down.
Agreed.
So, A.J. Brown, what a beast. Jordan and I talked him up all last year. I know Adam was never mean about him, but just what a guy.
I didn't hype him up as much as you guys did, and part of that was Jalen Hurts, right? And he proved me wrong. Can he do it back-to-back years? I hope so. I really do like A.J. Brown. So.
And I think, we might as well just mention it now. So he went Hill, Brown, and in the third round, he took Hurts. So he paired him up. And I am a big lover of pairing, right? Pairing receiver with a quarterback. Other people don't care too much. I love doing it. So, So then we go A.J. Brown, and then Frankenstein, who took Diggs, went with Derrick Henry. He's the next best available running back, in my opinion. What were you going to say?
Yeah, he's the king.
He's the king.
I think Breece Hall had consideration of this pick too.
Yep.
But that's a little bit of
Jacobs.
speculation. Yeah. But Josh Jacobs has a little bit of
But we didn't know
drama
this at
right
that
now.
time.
Oh, I guess that's true. You didn't know.
Yes, stacking.
And I think we all agreed that Henry has one great year left in the tank. So, not a bad pick.
Yeah. Then we have Devontae Adams going to the guy who took Travis Kelce. So he's taking tight end and receiver. I like it. You're getting a wide receiver who could finish in the top 3 and the best tight end. So, again, the tight end's early for me, right? For me, I'd only consider probably in the 9-10 range. But you like your guys, go get them. You end up with 2 studs. So,
not so fast, Jake.
Oh.
This is an important stat about Devontae Adams and just receivers in general. Devontae Adams will be 31 years old this year. Okay?
Uh-huh.
Since 2015, only one receiver has ever had a 1,500-yard season at the age of 31, and that was in 2015, Brandon Marshall.
Really?
Brandon Marshall.
Yep.
1,300.
After that,
Yeah.
there is a steep drop. Jordy Nelson is the only other 31-year-old receiver since 2015 that even had 1,000 yards. He had 1,300.
Wow.
Then it's Cole Beasley at 967. And that is it. Those are the 3 guys above 900 yards after the age of 31.
Even Reggie Wayne didn't get it when he was...
Oh, I said 2015. We could go way back, and there are a couple of names. Like Marvin Harrison did it in like the early 2000s and stuff like that.
Super
They had 1,500 yard seasons. But on the top 15 since 2015, I'm looking at the top 15, and number 15 is 240 yards. We go all the way down, and it's Danny Amendola in 2016.
Do you think that that is going to change? Because you say that come next year, let's assume Adams does have a good year. Okay.
He had a great year last year, and there's also something to be said about 30-year-old receivers, and he had an awesome 30-year-old.
And that's
season.
what I'm going to
say. So he could be the exception.
Cup is 30, yeah. Hill is 29, so those 2 are going to be right there. So it'll be interesting kind of see that.
We just don't have it.
What's the NFL really stand for, boys?
No
Not
fun
for
league.
long.
Not for long, man.
No. So yeah, super interesting. That's a really good stat to pull out there. No wonder you won't trade for Hill in the home league.
I will not a dynasty.
Which then begs, then I'm up. I took Cooper Kupp, and then I went with CeeDee Lamb. I've talked about the Dallas Cowboys a lot and my thoughts on them. I think that they're hated just because they have a star on their helmet. CeeDee Lamb's a beast. He is a beast.
Awesome.
And I would have taken him over Devontae Adams. And because the quarterback's better. Because I have talked about how I like Dak. And he is better than Jimmy Garoppolo. So give me CeeDee Lamb over Devontae Adams every day, twice on Sundays. Adam?
I agree. We didn't even talk about Jimmy G is the one who's throwing it to Devontae Adams. I think that got mentioned in the chat here too, because that's worse. He has a worse situation. He is a year older. Devontae Adams, he's at the bottom of that tier, and I would take CeeDee Lamb over him too.
Go ahead, Adam. Go ahead, Adam.
I'm gonna book it. I'm gonna book something.
Yeah.
I'm going to book Devontae Adams and CeeDee Lamb. If they're both healthy,
Yep.
all 17 games,
Yep.
Devontae Adams will have 300 more receiving yards
300.
and 3 more touchdowns.
Hold on. 300's nuts. Because if CeeDee Lamb goes for 1,100 yards, which would be a not good year, Adams has to go for 1,400.
Yep.
Are you sure you don't want to change that?
I don't got a lot of buckets this year, Jake.
Okay,
I got to
all
catch
right.
up to you boys.
Yikes. Let's move on then.
300 more yards
308.
and 3 more touchdowns than CeeDee Lamb.
3 and 3, baby. Yep.
That's a bad one. That's a Marlon Mack take right there.
No, it is not. Don't even get me
All
started.
right, let's keep going.
It's worse than Marlon Mack, and I will make the opposite bucket of that, and I'd say Devontae Adams doesn't even get 1,300 yards this year.
Guys, 1,300 yards is a lot.
1,200 yards.
You guys are being mean to me. Listen to this. I just said a Raiders receiver would do something phenomenal. You know how much that took to say?
Yeah,
All right.
and it's just even funnier that you're wrong. Adam.
Okay, let's keep talking. Josh Jacobs goes to the next one. So the guy took Jamar Chase, then Josh Jacobs. Knowing what we know now, it's a little nerve-wracking. I'd rather have Brees Hall, who goes with the next pick to barely manageable.
Yep.
He's barely manageable going with the youth here. He goes Jefferson, then Hall. Knowing what we know now, I at this time in June, you're worried about Hall coming back from the ACL. Now we know it's going pretty well, and now we know that Jacobs is having these issues. So I think those would be picked or flipped. I still think those two are the next to go. The next running backs that would go later on would be Pollard and Stevenson, and then Najee Harris. So I'd still take those two over those guys. But
And, in hindsight, that was a good pick, good value before we knew what we knew.
that's true. Just to interrupt here, Adam, you said I'd bet a sub about that bucket.
Yeah.
And Jordan and I didn't take it because we just think it's ridiculous. Joey says he'll take the bet, and I'm pretty sure DoorDash works anywhere, right?
Yeah, Blake Rivers even got one.
Okay, book it. Put it down. Subway sub going to Joey if Adam's wrong.
All right, Joey. I believe Joey likes Firehouse subs or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, let's go quickly finish up these two rounds. We got Whippy going, had McCaffrey. Then they went Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Good pick.
Good pick. A perfect second round receiver. So that's right where that drop takes off for us. But we like Amon-Ra. We've talked about that a lot.
Especially with Jameson Williams missing the first half of the season.
Correct, yep.
Love it even more. Yep.
And then with the last pick in the second round, Kyle, and this is the new user, he took Patrick Mahomes. So he got Eckler first and then decided to go Holmes. Early, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is where you might see those first section of quarterbacks go. So
I said it a few episodes ago, if there's a quarterback you're going to take in the second, Pat Mahomes is the guy, or Josh Allen.
Yep.
I do want to point out, we're not going to get to the third round here, but Mark Andrews, 3-1?
No, we're gonna talk. So now's a great time. I'll go first here to talk about what some of these teams did that was different, right?
Yeah.
So, Adam, if you want to talk about that team, go ahead and take a look at it, and then we'll get into it here in a sec.
Nope, I got another team I really got to talk about.
I'm going to talk about barely manageable.
Oh,
What?
no. Can I talk about one of his picks?
Yeah, well, hold on. Let's interrupt me when it's time, okay?
Okay.
All right, so very manageable here. He went Justin Jefferson, Brees Hall, Garrett Wilson, Jahmyr Gibbs, Kyle Pitts, Cam Akers, Sean Watson, Rasheed White, George Pickens, Juju Smith-Schuster. And they also got Anthony Richardson. What a dynasty team.
Yeah, those are young guys.
That's so his running backs are Rashad White, Cam Akers, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Brees Hall. How would you feel about that?
Not
For this
great.
year, not great.
Yeah, I mean, the possibility, there's so much risk here. There's
It's
so
high
much
risk, and then you even has the guy from Seattle, the backup running back
Trevor
in
Lawrence,
Seattle too. So
But-
assume, let's say Ken Walker gets hurt or something like
Yeah.
that too. That's
But
some high risk.
high risk, but man, if Jahmyr Gibbs is good, if Garrett Wilson takes off with Aaron Rodgers, George Pickens takes a leap. I mean, this team could win the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking like Zay Flowers, Anthony Richardson. I mean, these are
they're
some
young,
major.
but what I like here is, what happens if Richardson just goes off? You trade him, right?
Yeah.
What happens if Charbonnet, I can never remember how to say his name, but the backup from Seattle, what happens if he takes a large role? Trade him. Like, he has good pieces here. So I kind of like it. I don't know if he decided just to go young on purpose or just how the draft felt to him, but not a big fan of Kyle Pitts in the 5th. We've talked about it.
Not a fan of Cam Akers.
In the 6th, I don't mind it.
I'm fine with Cam Akers
in the 6th, it's good. I don't know how I feel about him being wide receiver or running back 3 behind Gibbs. But
I think Rashad White will take that role for him, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
super interesting.
one qualm.
Okay, let's hear it.
Deshaun Watson. I cannot believe he took him instead of guys like, and this, I mean, my words here a little bit. Dak Prescott. Tua went way later. Kirk Cousins. I would rather take Geno Smith this next year than Deshaun Watson.
I think
I just think he's going to be the rusty guy we saw last year. I know he got a full off season now. I just don't think he's going to have it. I think he's got that baggage now for the rest of his career, and that's just a personal take. I am not a fan of Deshaun Watson there in the 7th.
I think he improves, but will he ever get back to where he was in Houston? I would agree with you, Adam. I don't think he'll get there. So as your only quarterback, again, not knowing what Anthony Richardson turns into, that is risk. But again, I think that fits the bill for this whole team. It's high risk, high upside, but big bust potential just across the board.
Boomer bust.
Jordan, Jordan, what do you see out there?
Yeah, the one that I want to talk about is at the number 9. So we talked about some of that interesting trade. Joey, I think this is your team. So took some switches there in the 1st and 2nd round and picked up an extra 3rd. So the team looks like Saquon Barkley, Nick Chubb, Najee Harris, Chris Olave, and then in the 5th round took George Kittle, then Justin Herbert. So locking down the running back room, good receiver in Chris Olave, and then went 4 receivers in a row. Tyler Lockett, Mike Williams, Rashad Bateman, Jordan Addison, and then Jacoby Myers later on. So I think got good wide receiver depth there and picked up a lot of those wide receiver 2s on a lot of those teams.
What a good tight end.
And then, Njoku late, and then Jerick McKinnon, who I'm really high on this year in the 12th round. I think his receiving upside is big there in Kansas City. And then Russell Wilson in the 14th round, which I got to talk about a little bit because
my boy.
I think that his value I expect a better year out of Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's going to be like quarterback 1 by any means, but I think he will be a serviceable backup quarterback on any team. So I love that in the 14th round. So that starting lineup is Justin Herbert, Saquon, Nick Chubb, Chris Olave, Tyler Lockett, Mike Williams, George Kittle, Najee in the flex. And I feel that's a good. So that switch up that they did at the top, I also really like the team that they did the trade with. So I think it worked out for both groups really well.
Yep.
I should probably toot my own horn here. I think I did very well. So my receivers sit here as Kupp, Lamb, Ridley, Cooper, Cooks, because I have to have Brandon Cooks on my team.
Of course.
And I think that's relatively deep. We only start 2, I believe. So, but there's a flex 3. We start 3 and there's a flex. So I like Cooper as a wide receiver 3. I think my favorite part, though, is I was able to get Dak Prescott and then 3 rounds later take Tua. And Tua was going off. Now, we've talked about Tua a lot, whether or not you think he's going to rebound injuries. I like to go into thinking if he's healthy, he could finish as a top 3 quarterback. And if I'm getting that in the 11th round, love that. Really, I really like that. And I ended up with Miles Sanders, and I thought that was funny. So.
Yeah, I was just looking at your team, Jake, and I loved Miles Sanders and Ramondre Stevenson, who you talked bad about a little bit.
Yeah.
You just talked bad about Patriots in general.
Yeah.
Miles Sanders.
Got Odell, too.
You did get
Marlon
Brandon
Mack.
Cooks. Oh, and you got Odell, too. Love that for you. Yeah. So.
No Marlon Mack.
No Marlon Mack. He is on the practice squad, though. And I just want to point out some good tight ends going late. Dalton Schultz.
Well, hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold on. Now that you've talked about yourself, I'd like to point out something I saw.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Here with the team side. Now, if I may. Kyle M., I feel like, had an interestingly good draft.
Okay.
I think Eckler, Mahomes 1-2. Andrews a little bit of a reach there, but then decent value at receivers. Keenan Allen, Chris Godwin, Drake London, Christian Kirk late, which he could still have a really good year. Michael Thomas, meh, but Jameson Williams, love that for dynasty purposes. He got him really late. So he's got interesting guys. And then running backs, I mean, Rashad Penny, okay. David Montgomery could be the guy in Detroit. We don't know. Love the DeAndre Swift pick there. And then, of course, Eckler. So I just think he's got a very interesting team that could be good.
Yeah, I like that he got Eckler and then just, let the board fall to him. I agree with the Andrews is a bit high for me. But, getting your quarterback. And
I'd rather taking Dalton Schultz where you had him.
Yeah, I'd rather have Schultz there. But I like, he just was looking at value, right? And he said the running back's just not there, so I'm going to keep waiting, and then I'll load up on guys who might, go off this year. I like that he got Swift and Penny, so he's covering himself there. Montgomery, still going to have a role there. And then he's got all these... You only got to start 2, so if you start Eckler and Swift, and then you can start receivers in your flex, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And Jameson Williams in the 12th, I mean, I don't think
really
was he suspended at that point? In June, I don't think so. He might have been, but I'm not sure.
He might have been, but yeah, still that 6 game is good. That's a good spot for him.
I think honestly, I think everyone did really well. That's
yeah.
Everyone did a good job. Just some of the quick things I'm noticing. Tight ends late. So we've talked about that. Pat Freiermuth going in the 9th. Then we got Njoku in the 11th, Komet in the 13th, Schultz in the 12th. These are good values. So that's why we always say wait. And then one last thing is these quarterbacks late. So the last 2 quarterbacks taken in this draft were Russell Wilson in the 14th and Aaron Rodgers in the 15th.
Wow,
That's
great.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Love that. Like, that's
Wild.
Especially because the guy who took Aaron Rodgers has Josh Allen. So he only needs him for 1 week, and if Aaron Rodgers is going off, he's going to trade him for something else. So,
Yep.
Really
Man,
good.
I can't believe guys waited on kickers and defenses till really late.
Well, you're so funny. Oh, gosh.
I know. I'm good.
All right.
Let me hit you with a couple of interesting ones here, and then we can wrap up here.
Dad, just put the draft board away. All right, go ahead.
It's okay. It's okay. Brandon Ayuk in the 8th. Love that.
Oh, that's a good one
for him. I'm really excited about him. We talked about Aaron Rodgers in that spot a little bit there. And what was that, the 15th for him?
Yeah.
Another interesting spot was Kadarius Toney in the 10th. Love that.
That's a good value
for him too. Really great value. And then Tyler Boyd in the 15th.
Love that
spot for him too. So a lot of great steals here. Romeo Doubs, undrafted, unexpected, I would say, because I think there's been a lot of hype about him coming out of camp here, and he's been undrafted. So that was I think the most interesting one that I could see that I would have expected him. Like, I'm looking at like guys in the 17th that are getting taken. And Romeo Doubs slipped all the way off.
All right.
So Patrick.
So Jake's about to pick him up. I see.
No,
him.
I'm not. I pressed some buttons and I lost all our faces.
Oh,
sorry about that, but I got us back. So there you go, guys. There's our June league. We still have a few spots left in our July league if you want to jump in there. Oh, jeez, man, it's like I've never done this before. So if you want to jump in there, make sure you do it. We have a few spots. It's on our Facebook page. And then we also have an August league with a few spots, and we have a money league as well. So we're going to be pushing these leagues coming up. So be a part of it. It's fun having you here. Glad we could do this. This is fun. You can continue to find us on Facebook at the Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast. You can find us or you can listen to us wherever you listen to us. Wherever you're listening now, or on any of the Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that stuff. We have an Instagram. We're trying to grow that. I'll post that on the Facebook page as well. Next_step_pod. Join it. Takes 3 seconds and it helps us grow. We got some really good stuff coming up. Hopefully here soon. So you're going to want to be a part of that. We are going to hopefully be to the moon. We're taking off. So.
Yep.
Cross our fingers and all that stuff, but
great things coming.
So, and if you want to be a part of it, we have a Patreon. You can help us support that way. We're going to be throwing some deals up on that here soon. So, boys, do you have anything else you want to say?
No, excited for what's coming. Excited for draft season. Join that July league. Join the August league. We're ready to have you.
Yeah.
Yep. Go Tigers, baby. Go Tigers football.
All right. You guys take care. Be good. All right. We're still live on YouTube. Guys, we appreciate you guys hanging around.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
You guys being here makes it so much more fun. It's nice to talk to you guys. So Vincent was new in the chat here today. So thanks for hanging around with us. It's not good to see you. Hopefully see you next week. And
giving us crap, by the way, guys. It's fun.
It is. It's good. It's good stuff.
Some crap.
It's good stuff. All right. Do you guys have anything you want to say to these guys?
No. Thank